Aloha. I want to share a personal story about an instance where I had to learn a really hard lesson about trusting my own guidance and inner wisdom. Now, this is dating back a number of years when I was living in East Africa, where I had been living with my husband and our son and daughter, and it had turned into like almost an entire decade of living in East Africa and building up this incredible ecosystem of businesses, from a nonprofit to a production company to a publishing company. And in the early days, it was really, really difficult and challenging and exciting and exhilarating and all the things. But at the time, this young management team had been working with us for a number of years on other projects. So it was a tricky balance to strike. But in this particular case, this very big scaled project from a global company was brought to us, and it was organized by the whole team. And I really saw the thoughtfulness, the intentionality, the strategy, and the really strong management skills, built the capacity over years of working together on projects. So I let them run with it, and I was also supervising at the same time. And I was in all of the meetings, I had a lot of front face with the client, but my team was very present and front and center. And at a really critical point, when we were about to receive most of the funding for the project, I received an urgent call from the client. And it was at this time that the client, who I had a very good rapport with, asked for a sidebar with me. And I asked people to leave the room. And this client said on the speakerphone, I'll never forget it, "I need you to remove everyone from the project, and I want the reins in your hands. I don't feel comfortable with the team taking the lead on the project." And I felt gutted. The team had demonstrated nothing but capability. I was invited to attend an urgent meeting with these top executives in the global headquarters of their media company in New York City. And the entire way there on the plane, I really felt sick to my stomach because I just didn't know how I was going to come forward with the words. I didn't know how to say what I needed to say. And I'll never forget being in that boardroom and laying out the plan that my team had created. And I was so confident on this execution plan. And by the time I got finished presenting, the main executive said to me, "And now you see why we want the reins in your hand and why we insist on you leading the project. This was a perfect plan." And I just said, "Well, this is the plan from my team. This is the plan that my team was able to put together because of the strength of the relationships and the communities that we need to be in, because they understand, obviously, the culture and how things have to get done there, and because they have the skill sets, and because this is their strategy." And I felt like I was going to be swallowed up by the room. It got really quiet. And that executive looked at his team and he said, "I think we're in the best hands with Tilomai's team. Let's proceed." It was such a powerful moment for me. I, of course, felt vindicated, but I also was reminded sometimes when you have to do the right thing, that's the hard thing, it's the best thing. Because you go all in on what you know is the right path. And it comes from a deep part of you that says it doesn't matter what happens. If that client had pulled the project, if we had not received the funding, if we'd been fired, whatever could have also happened, I knew that that was so far down the scale of importance and all the way home. I felt the weight of that decision and all of the decisions that were ahead of me. And this experience taught me the value of authentic leadership. Ooh, tough one. That business became a 7-figure business. And this team today, they were all running their own businesses, doing incredible things, and I could not be prouder. And I'm grateful to have learned some of those hard lessons about bravery, about courage, about doing the right thing when it counts.